So at Ogilvy, I'm the vice chairman and I'm the founder of the behavioural science practice there, which is something I've done for the last 10 years. Because I think, strangely, that since the Mad Men era of advertising, we've lost something. Back in the 50s and 60s, it was standard to have a kind of agency psychologist. Those people disappeared. Agencies increasingly made money from TV commercials, so they didn't have to worry about anything else they did. I think it's time to bring that back. Because I think without going back to the sort of foundational principles of why marketing is necessary in the first place, and those are psychological in origin, what we'll suffer from is a loss of relevance, a loss of direction, and probably worst of all, a loss of confidence. What I'm most interested in marketing and advertising right now is the discovery, I think by effectively treading the path of behavioural science, that the application of marketing and advertising, if we can work out more ways of making money from ideas, okay, if we can do that, actually the field can literally be 10 times bigger than it is at present. Okay, at the moment, we're dwarfed by management consultancies who are kind of deploying templated, kind of boilerplate solutions to one client after another, which are exactly the same. That's actually a violation of what a good business should be trying to do, which is to distinguish itself and make itself distinctive. But also, I think that through actually contact with behavioural science, I've discovered that there are whole areas of problem solving where the kind of creative techniques that have proved valuable in advertising haven't really had permission to go. I talk about category problems, social problems, problems to do with the environment that are big problems that are too big for one brand to solve on its own. And so if we can only work out a way in which we can actually deploy creativity in new and expanding fields, I think our future is fantastic. If we stay where we are in a kind of low barriers to entry, zero-sum game, I think the future is really rather scary. So I think we've reached a point actually where we have no choice but to experiment. One of the things which I don't like to say, but I think is nonetheless true, is that actually recessions and tough times can be good for marketers and they could be good for business. In that one of the things is it overcomes inertia and it makes necessary bolder steps than tend to happen in good times when people are perfectly content just to harvest incremental gains. So in some ways, although it seems slightly weird to kind of derive pleasure or satisfaction from something which has undoubtedly brought a great deal of pain to many, many people all over the world, there is a silver lining there, which is that we have finally come to a point where we realise that simply doing things the old way but a little bit cheaper is no longer good enough. And for marketers, that has to be good news. What I'm going to be talking about at MadFest, and what I'm going to be talking about quite a lot, actually, for the next year, is to try and imagine what an advertising agency would look like if it didn't have to make money, if it only had to add value. In other words, what tends to happen in a lot of businesses is something that Cory Doctorow calls in-shitification. And it's where the need for value, for effectively harvesting more and more revenue from the paying client, okay, distorts what the business does to make it actually less valuable overall. So nowadays, on search engines, if you search for Samsung televisions, the first 3 search results are for LG televisions. Okay, you can understand the financial reasons they've done that, but it is nonetheless in-shitification. And I think it's worth asking the question that ad agencies could add 10 times more value, not only to their clients, but to the overall economy than they currently do, if there were only budgets to solve some of the most pressing problems in human society. And I don't know, I have to admit, I don't know where those budgets can come from. But I think it's a really useful thought experiment to say, if there were a £20 million budget for you to achieve this, and that might be a category problem, not a brand problem, for example, how would you do it? And quite often, particularly when seen through the lens of behavioural science, there is actually an answer. It's just that no one's actually effectively got from behind their desk to do it because there isn't a budget for solving the problems we really need to solve. 3 words, perversity, insight, swearing, or PISS for short. Okay.